Hello, welcome to the Financial Legacy Podcast. I am your host, Maria Ellis. On every episode, I will bring you my perspective and the perspective of my guest on financial and estate planning topics. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a preview of another book, my second book that I'm writing about business owners and family business legacy. So just to give you a little bit of background for people who perhaps are not following yet, they're not yet following us. Um, Again, my background is banking and finance, and I work with major banks in the New York City area, such as Citibank and Bank of America, as an example. In the helping corporations and providing financing to small and medium-sized companies. And as a result of that, I have gained a lot of experience working with business owners. And so that have inspired me to write this book, which is specifically addressed to those business owners who are thinking about retirement, and I'm trying to figure out what are they going to do with their business. Are they going to be selling it off, or do they have family members that they have a passion for the business and they like to continue with the business? So many of them are in that process of trying to decide, but they sort of find in an area that is a new area for them. So it's kind of hard for them to have a clear path as to how to go about it, And so this is what this book actually addresses. So I'm hoping that from this book you are going to realize that, creating your own family business legacy, it is a very important task to do because that's going to provide you with either continuation of your business and or funds to be able to enjoy, your retirement life. So no matter where you're in the process, my message to you is that it's not too late to start. If you have not done proper planning, though, I strongly suggest that you start now. Think and reflect what a business legacy to you means, and surround yourself with the right advisors, including family members, because the input of your family members is going to be very, very helpful in terms of helping you decide which way you're going to go. So a family legacy plan is a call to action, really, to provide the business owner with peace of mind and happiness, and at the same time, minimize the amount of money that you have to pay on state taxes. Because if you happen to pass away on an untimely basis, if you pass on, that's going to cost you a lot of money on estate planning. So the process of the content of this book, I decided to do a survey to interview many of my clients and friends that are in business on a global basis. I wanted this research to have a global impact, to have a global input as to what business owners around the world are doing in terms of business legacy. And I wanted to share that kind of information with you. So my passion is really to provide education and clarity for people to be able to achieve and protect and preserve financial freedom, which enables you in turn to be able to enjoy life, to perhaps get involved in philanthropic activities, giving back to the community, and just enjoy life and enjoy the fruits of your work that you have done for so many years. I know that as a business owner, you spend many, many, many years, 20, 30 years, building a business, and therefore it is something that is very precious to you, and you want to be able to sort of maximize both the business assets as well as your personal assets. So this is going to be my second book. My first book, it was about Achieve Financial Freedom, which was a guide to teach young people, especially women, how to become financially successful. So this book, I'm addressing also women business owners and family businesses to provide them with a roadmap to estate planning in order to just for you to be able to distribute your personal and your business assets in your own preferred way to your family members, to charitable organizations, and others in your community that you feel called to. So you probably wonder how this book is going to be any different from so many books that are written about business legacy. This book is different because, first of all, I'm passionate about the subject, and I have written this book with you as my ideal client in mind, a business owner, whether you are male or female, who is approaching retirement age and you're worried about the succession of your business. Should you sell? Should you create a succession plan? Are the members of your family interested in the business? Are they interested in continuing with the company? Are they interested in bringing the company to the next level in terms of sales, profitability, increasing your client base, working with clients, adding new products based on the client's feedback? There's a lot that if people are passionate about continuing your business, if family members are passionate about continuing the business, it's something that you could do. This book is not going to be a complex textbook, but instead is going to be a roadmap with specific examples from business owners around the world who have gone through the same process and have found a way to create a business legacy plan that is equitable and fair for the family, and that creates family bonding through the various charitable projects involving their employees and their communities in general. So, what inspired me to write this book, and what is the goal of this book? Is to encourage business owners to have peace of mind, to enjoy life, and to enjoy and bond with their family in your golden years. So that is very close and dear to my heart. I want to make sure that you are able to enjoy the process, and that this is writing a plan, a business legacy, family business legacy plan, takes a lot of thinking, a lot of reflection, look at your values, determining and finding out what's the best way to, dispose of your assets as you're preparing to move on to the next stage of your life. So one of the things that I recommend is for you to start creating something that I call a charter or what is also called a protocol that is going to provide your family members, in the case that you decide to continue the legacy with your family, to have some key questions for you as a family, along with your advisors. I highly recommend for you to have your advisors with you, your tax accountant, your CPA, your tax attorney, your family advisor, your investment advisor, all these people that currently are part of your stakeholders, to be part of that process. So what I have found, what I have seen success start is, again, by asking some key questions. And some of the questions that come to mind and that I have seen are very basic questions, such as, for instance, who do you consider to be a family member? I mean, that's important, right? Who is a family member? Um, what is the family vision for the business? For the community. What is their role in their community? What are your core values as an organization and as a family? What are some Norse ways of behavior, as an example? That's all part of your values. Another area to think about is governance. How should the family be organized and governed to achieve the vision and to promote the values of your company, the mission of your company, the values of the organization, what the family perceives to be, something that they would like to do in terms of, for instance, charitable participation in the community. Another area will be the management of the business ownership. For instance, questions that you might want to consider are: what restrictions and incentives should be in place to keep ownership of the business within the family, as an example? What rules should govern the family members when it comes to sales and purchase of shares within the company? So another area could be in the succession and involvement in the business. Questions there that you might want to consider are: what principles and plans will guide the leadership succession process? All right. To what extent and according to what criteria should the family members be involved in the business? How will their performances be evaluated? How will they actually get paid if they work in the company in the various roles? Because, as you know, different family members have different gifts, so they need to be compensated accordingly, both in a tangible and in an intangible way. So another area to consider will be philanthropy and other affiliations with the community. So what philanthropic or other joint activities should be established to promote family cohesion and bonding? In the survey that I have done with the business owners that are going to be part of this book, the charitable involvement and philanthropic involvement and activities in their communities have really kept the families together, because they feel not only that they are providing good services and products to the community, but that they're also part of the community and they want to see the community prosper. They want to be able to have good employees that are able to communicate with the senior management, so that they're able to handle any issues or problems that there might be within the organization, other than sort of to bury them and not being able to address them. And the end result is that the company loses sales and eventually profitability. So one final item within this protocol that I'm suggesting for you to consider as you're writing or planning to write your family business legacy plan is the term of this protocol, the term of what we call them charter, and the process for revisions. So now you're writing a charter. How are you going to, review it? How long will the charter remain in effect? And how can the term be extended or renewed if it's something that is working out well, and if it's well implemented? Of course, will be a benefit for the family. But if it is not, it needs to be tweaked, it needs to be reviewed, and it needs for this to work for the family in general. So, having a process by which you actually make those amendments, I think are also very important. So in closing, I would like to again encourage you to contact us and to share with us where you are. Perhaps you want to share with us some of your stories about how you and your family created your own family business legacy plan. What has worked for you? What hasn't worked for you? What kind of did you actually have to restructure the company? How were you able to create a plan that was fair and equitable, that you feel happy and comfortable with, and that your family members are cohesive and that they are working together towards a particular well-defined family goal and objectives. So please log into the Financial Legacy Live, financiallegacy.live. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again for joining me. I am your host, Maria Ellis, at the financiallegacy.live. Thanks again.
In providing answers, neither Maria Ellis nor the Financial Legacy podcast and guest speakers are acting as certified financial planners, advisors, certified financial analysts, CPAs, economists, accountants, or lawyers. Neither Maria Ellis or the Financial Legacy podcast and guest speakers make any recommendations as to any specific securities or investments. All content is for informational and general purposes only and does not constitute as financial or legal advice. You should consult your own tax, legal, and financial advisors regarding your particular situation. Neither Maria Ellis nor Financial Legacy podcast and guest speakers accept any responsibility for any loss that may arise from accessing or reliance from any information in this podcast. And to the extent permitted by law, we exclude all liabilities for any loss or damages derived directly or indirectly arising from the use of the information.